Okay, my friend, let me ask you a question. Have you ever drove somewhere and forgot the drive, and then you got there and you don't even remember? Like maybe you already have driven to that location a bunch of times, so you just essentially were in a total trance. You don't remember anything, nothing about it, and then you arrived there. Whoa, I was spaced out. Or have you ever promised yourself that you would stop doing something, or you would do something a certain way, and then you still did it? And you're like, why did I just do that? Why did I do it? I don't know. What do you say when something like that? I don't know. Or have you ever done something at all, and then somebody said, why'd you do that? You're like, I don't know. I have no idea why I did that. That's your subconscious mind. That's your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind controls everything. If you've ever wondered why you keep making the amount of money you make, it's your subconscious mind. If you've ever wondered why is it you have exactly the amount of money you have in your bank account right now, it's your subconscious mind. If you've ever wondered why do you keep having the same relationship problems even though you have a different partner, right? Like, have you ever met someone like that? It's like they keep getting a new boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, but the same problem keeps happening, just a different circumstance with new people. It's the subconscious mind. Every single part of your life, all of your actions, all of your decisions, all of your habits, all of your thoughts, all of your emotions, it's all your subconscious mind. They tell us 95% of our life is subconscious. Stanford did a study. 95% of your life is subconscious, meaning 95% of the control of your bank account, your money, your success, your relationships, your health, your happiness, your emotions, it's your subconscious. And 70 to 75% of that, they say, is negative and redundant. So it's negative programming we got. And there are hidden teachings in the Bible about why it is so important to reprogram your subconscious mind. And in this video, I'm going to break down those hidden ancient teachings from the Bible and from Jesus himself on how and why you need to reprogram your mind if you want to change your life. So wishing you a beautiful day. This is Jake with JakeDucey.com. And if you are having a great day, let me know in the comments down below. Best day ever. And if you enjoy this video, make sure you hit the subscribe and bell notification over there. Subscribe so you get notified for new videos. Love to have you part of the community. If you haven't yet, I have a free Success Hypnosis MP3 to reprogram your subconscious mind. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. It is pinned as the top comment right there down below, and it is linked in the description, or you can just go to jakeshypnosis.com. Don't do it yet, though, because this video is really important. All you got to do is listen to the Success Hypnosis for a couple minutes every day. Your life will start to change. Your income, your bank account, your relationships, your confidence, the things that you attract. Life starts to get easier because 95% of your life is controlled by it. So if you reprogram that and 95% of the governing force of your life is programmed for money, success, happiness, love, good relationships, then things work out for you without you having to work as hard. So make sure you check that out. Number one is renewing the mind. So that verse, Romans 12:2, we all heard it, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So Paul's saying renewing your mind is the same thing as reprogramming your subconscious. So transformation in Greek is metamorphosis. That makes sense in the context of that larger verse. It says, do not be conformed by the pattern of the world. So the pattern of the world is your environment. whatever is happening in your life that your five senses are interpreting. When you conform to the pattern of the world, you look at your bank account and you say, I am broke because my bank account is telling me that. That's the pattern of the world. Your relationships aren't working, so you look at your life and you say, I am unlovable, or all the good guys are taken, or all the right women are taken. You look at your body and you don't like the way you look, so you say, I'm unlovable, or I'll always be this way. It will always be this way. So that's what I mean. When you conform to the pattern of this world, your consciousness is controlled by your outside world. Then when that controls your attention, that programs your subconscious accordingly. So then you subconsciously, unconsciously program your mind for, I am broke, I am unlovable, all the good guys are taken, all the right women are taken, it will always be this way, I am unlovable, whatever it is. You program yourself that way. The word transform, trans means beyond, and form is the world of form, the physical world. So trans means beyond, and form is the world. So transform means to move beyond form. In other words, to transform your mind means to program your subconscious mind the way you want it to be, not the way your life currently is. Every visionary, every person that has impacted the world, they lived from an inner code. They lived from an inner set of rules. They lived from an inner vision, not what was dictated to them by the pattern of this world. So the most important thing to do is to transform your mind, because this is the world. The world around us, there's a lot of beautiful things. There's a lot of darkness, right? There's a lot of programming that is intentionally negative, and you have to take control of your mind and ask yourself, what do I believe? Like, once I realized that I had all these subconscious beliefs that were an impediment to what I wanted a relationship, but I believed love was pain, or it was hard, or all the right women were gone. I wanted to have a successful career with my dream business, but I believed that I was too young, it was too hard, I wasn't a numbers or a money person, I wasn't good enough, I had ADD and ADHD in school, so they told me, so I thought that I couldn't concentrate enough to make money. These are subconscious beliefs. That was me being conformed by the pattern of the world that then controlled my subconscious. Biblically speaking, it is a prophecy. Your subconscious mind creates a self-fulfilling prophecy based off of how you give it instructions from your attention. When you are focused on the pattern of the world, that is an instruction to your subconscious to be programmed that way. So that's why it's so important to reprogram it. Number 2 is the parable of sowing and reaping, right? And we all have the reap what you sow. So in the Bible, it says, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. We've all heard that general saying. Well, think about it like this. The seeds that you plant in your conscious mind from your attention, that is you putting seeds into the soil. And then those bear fruit. They are actually programmed into your subconscious. And because your subconscious controls 95% of your life, that is the fruit of the circumstances of your life, or what you create as your reality, with your income, with your love life, with everything. So, in other words, whatever you impress on your subconscious expresses as the circumstances of your life. So the process of sowing and reaping is where your attention goes controls how your subconscious is set to operate. It's like giving it instructions implicitly without directly saying, here are the instructions. Just whatever the dominant emotions and attention is how the subconscious is ultimately programmed. So the key, you have to bring your attention above the current circumstances of your life. For example, when I was starting my career, I dropped out of college and I was like 21 years old when I wrote my first book. No one would publish it, so I had to self-publish that book. And I was stuck in this dilemma where I was like, do I just give up, right? Like nothing's working. All the publishing companies denied me. I guess maybe this isn't going to work. That was the opportunity to conform to the pattern of the world. Then there was this other thing, and that's your higher faculties. That's your ability to think. Anything you want to think. That's what God gave you and I. We're made in the image of God, which means we have image-making power. So I could use my image-making power in reaction. I almost said power. I could use my image-making power to have a reactive consciousness where I'm unconsciously visualizing more things to be afraid of, that this won't work out. Instead, I started to use my image-making power to think greater than my five senses, than my current reality, than my current environment. In effect, what I was doing is I planted different seeds. I started to sow different seeds of a future that didn't tangibly exist yet. What ended up happening was every day I would sit down and I would thank God that my specific goals were real, that they had happened. I would literally get emotionally involved. I'm like sincerely thanking God. I would see my books being published, translating to other worlds, shaking hands with book publishers, seeing my YouTube channel going viral, seeing myself with my overall goal, which was to be an international author and speaker making millions of dollars and inspiring millions of people. So what I did was every day I would listen to my success hypnosis. Like I said, it's free. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. You can get it for free. It's a link down below. It is pinned as the top comment, or it's in the description down below. I'd listen to this and I would practice sowing new seeds. I would practice giving my subconscious a new set of instructions, because whatever you impress will express. You can comment that down below. Whatever you impress will express. Whatever you impress will express. Excuse me, had a little cough. So what you want to do is start to plant the seeds of a future that doesn't exist in your physiology, in your nervous system, in your brain, and that gives your subconscious a new instruction manual. Whatever you reap, you will sow, but you can plant any seeds you want into your divine subconscious mind, which is a direct pipeline to the mind of God, to the universal mind. And that's how you shift your reality to truly live in the image in which God created you, which is God wants you to live abundantly, healthy, love. God created everything. So God wants you to experience the fullness of creation in the best ways possible, meaning living a life of abundance and health and love and all of these things. But it won't happen. God can't give you those things because you are a spiritual being in a physical body that incarnated to learn certain spiritual lessons and all these things. So you live in a world of free will. God won't give you those things until you first learn the law of sowing and reaping. Change the seeds you're planting. You give your subconscious new instructions and your outer world changes as a result. Now, number 3 is one I did not understand at all when I was a kid. And I didn't grow up spiritual. I didn't grow up religious. I grew up essentially, I wouldn't have called myself an atheist, but I grew up with no concept of it. And when I heard this saying in the Bible, to those that have, more is given. To those that don't have, even that which they have is taken away in Matthew. When I was younger, I didn't give it that much thought, but I believed that was saying essentially that if God likes you, you're going to get more. And if God hates you, your life will just infinitely always get worse. Like, kind of like, the rich will get more and the poor will continue to be more poor. To those that have, more is given. Well, now that teaching of Jesus is proven from modern science and quantum physics. In quantum physics, atoms, when they started studying atoms, they found they had subatomic particles. And then they found those subatomic particles would sometimes be visible through powerful electron microscopes. sometimes they wouldn't. So sometimes they would not be real or be invisible or disappear. And sometimes they would be there. It was called the observer effect. And they called it that because as you observed, they would collapse into space and time and become a particle. And then sometimes they would disappear and become invisible energy in the quantum field. So as you observed it, you had the power to essentially influence the atomic structure of reality. So the word observe is the same word as attention, or observe and attention are the same as consciousness. So in the Bible, when it says to those that have, more is given, it is saying when you observe abundance, when your attention is on abundance, when you possess in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, in your subconscious, abundance or love or whatever it is, when you possess it, when you have it in your emotional realm and spiritual realm, then you will have it in your physical realm. Because you exist on 3 planes. There's a physical version of you, which is like 1% of who you are. You're like you're a spiritual being in a physical body. Your body's a rental car. So you have the physical plane, and then there's the mental or emotional plane, the mental component of ourselves. And then there's the spiritual component of ourselves. So there's a physical plane of you, there's the mental and emotional plane of you, and then there's the spiritual plane of you. When you have it on the spiritual and emotional plane, then you get it materialized on the physical plane. We tend to believe it's the opposite. We're like, I'll believe it when I see it. But if you believe it when you see it, you're going to wait forever because you won't see it until you believe it. So I had my desire as being a published author and inspiring millions of people and being a millionaire author and speaker. I had it in my subconscious, in my emotions, and spiritually before it was real. And then by the time I was 22 years old, my books were published in Barnes & Noble all across America, right next to Wayne Dyer, because Ducey and Dyer. Everything happened. There was no reason for it to happen. I got denied by all the publishing companies. What happened? I started to understand what Jesus was saying. To those that have, more is given. To those that don't have, even that have is taken away. Don't have means you look at you're controlled by the pattern of the world. You have conformed to the pattern of the world. So when you don't have, to those that don't have, I look at my bank account and go, I'm going to be broke forever. I look at my circumstances and I go, why is it always like this? I'm not lucky. I'm not good enough. I guess I'm not smart enough. I guess this is what God meant for my life, and I'm just going to live a crappy life. You look out and your relationships aren't going the way you want, and you say, all the good guys are taken. All the right women are taken. I'm unlovable. Blah, 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 blah. It's not true that God has a soulmate for all of us. That's a bunch of BS. We say these things because we're controlled by the pattern of the world, which is not having. When you don't have, even that which they have is taken away. So you want love, you want money, you want success, you want health, you want to have a family, you want freedom, you want joy, you want spiritual fulfillment. You want it, so you want it on the physical plane in your reality, but you don't have it on the mental and spiritual planes. And if you don't have, even that which they have is taken away from you, because what you attract into your life, or what God manifests for you, is a direct reflection of your attention, your observation, and your consciousness on the mental and spiritual planes. So if this video speaks to you, I invite you to watch it again through. Let me know in the comments right there down below. Say, I love this video, or let me know what part speaks to you. I'd love to know where in the world you're coming from, what city, state, country. I really appreciate you watching the video, and coolest thing in the world is seeing people from all over the world and letting me know. So let me know what city, state, country you're coming from. Be sure to get my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description. It's right there down below. jakeshypnosis.com. It's free to use. Listen to it for a few minutes every day so you can start to change what you have on the mental, emotional, and spiritual planes. In other words, reprogramming your subconscious. Then you will see that all of these promises biblically throughout all religions, that God has a grand vision, a higher purpose, a good future for you. You'll see they are true, but you can't see they're true if you're in the consciousness of not having. So it starts with the mental, emotional, and spiritual planes, otherwise known as the doorway to your subconscious. So make sure you get my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com. If you enjoy this video, you can click right here to watch another one.